and welcome to the Nuclear Reactor channel. Today we'll be reacting to If Raditz Turned Good Part 2. If there's any anime y'all would like me to react to, I've only watched Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, Boruto, Bleach, and the Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. So if there's anything besides that y'all would like me to react to, let me know, and let's get started.
What if the first part of the What If ended differently?
Should have saw that coming.
Hey guys, Masako X here. It's time for another What If Week! You guys seem to be digging this format as well as multi-parter What Ifs, which is fine by me. Last month we started off the week with what might have happened had Raditz not only survived the special beam cannon from Piccolo, but also allied himself with the Z-Fighters against Vegeta and Nappa. If you wish to check out that first part, I'll include a link in the description and up top. However, some of you are a little saddened by the fact that the Z-Fighters never brought Raditz back with the Dragon Balls, or at least the fact that I didn't get around to covering it in the first part of this What If scenario. Well, once I'd taken a look about what had happened, I realized that since Piccolo's still alive, Kami would still be alive, the Dragon Balls would still be there, so it would be more than possible to bring Raditz back. But at the time of Vegeta and Nappa having left or died on the planet Earth, the Dragon Balls weren't active. They were dormant because, remember, you can only wish on them once every year. And since the gang had used the Dragon Balls to wish Goku back to life earlier on in the arc, they would have to wait a year to bring Raditz back to life too. Now, in a normal situation, that would be okay. But this isn't a normal situation. Goku had only just gotten back to Earth to not only find Raditz fighting on his side, but to realize that he's actually good at fighting. Now that he realizes who he is, his Saiyan blood is filled with excitement at the prospect of getting to spar with his own brother. He wants to reconnect with his brother, as the fact that their second reunion was drastically cut short due to the fact that Raditz, died. Whilst Goku is in the hospital recovering, he is just thinking about stuff, reflecting on Raditz, and then just comes to the conclusion that he wants to bring Raditz back. Chi-Chi reassures him and says that they can do that once the Dragon Balls have completed their one-year cycle. But Goku's kind of impatient in this situation.
Of course, going dynamic.
He's getting pretty argumentative and actually borderline aggressive. He wants to see his brother again, and he wants to see him now. That's when Krillin has his brainwave about the Namekian Dragon Balls. He had overheard Vegeta and Nappa talking about them earlier on in the arc, and then just assumes that they might be of use to them right now. Remember? They were talking about them around the time when we found out that Piccolo was also an alien, a Namekian, and kind of just a slug dude instead of a demon. By retaining this plot point and instead just changing the focus from bringing Piccolo, Tenshinhan, and Yamcha back to life, its focus to Raditz, then for the most part, the initial part of the Namek saga is actually quite identical to the original. Mr. Purple and Bulma check out the ship that brought Kami to Earth and then take it back to capture core, so that means they can repair it and make it spaceworthy. The biggest difference here in relation to the original saga is that everyone's still alive except Raditz. So, who would go with Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma? Piccolo, perhaps? Well, I'm gonna say no. Wait,
really?
What?
Why?
Masako? Well, I'm gonna hold him back for later. You'll understand why. For now, we're just gonna say that Piccolo's hesitant to go to Namek right now. He doesn't know what to expect, so he'll just hang back for the time being. The very idea that he is an alien and not a demon is something that he's going to need to process for quite a while. Much like how he needed time to process what happened during the Tenkaichi Budokai. That took a while. For now, we're just going to say that Yamcha joins the gang. Not only to
but
help
Yamcha
them out,
dies
but also
every
be
2
close to
seconds. Why
Bulma.
take him?
Now remember, this is the part of Dragon Ball that Bulma and Yamcha were still pretty close, despite him having a baseball career and being a bit of a ladies' man. Wait, Masako. Didn't Yamcha and Tenshinhan die in your first part? Nope. They survived. Barely. Thanks to the assistance of Raditz, the impact of the Cybermen was greatly reduced, and therefore lessened the injuries that the Z-Fighters sustained. They both hung in there long enough for Goku to come back and give everybody senzu beans. Now, if you're not happy with that explanation, consider this just a little retcon. I mean, that's child's play in comparison to the retcon of bringing Raditz back to life. It's down to popular demand, thanks to you guys. For Yamcha and Bulma, this is a great time for them to reconnect away from the press and publicity. Tenshinhan elects to stay behind and protect Earth, as well as mourn the death of his partner Chaozu. Yeah, I know everybody survived, but yeah, Chaozu still did die because he did sacrifice himself. So yeah, I know that might not be fair to Chaozu fans, but I think that was a good cause and it made for
personally, I like the characters more in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but because they're just more funny and stuff. But
Roshi can take care of things.
It's cool
here.
canon as well.
Fine. Tenshinhan thanks Roshi for this offer, but he again declines to go with the team. Now, if you think I'm being mean to Tenshinhan here...
Oh, and if y'all haven't yet,
he's a
follow me
pretty
on Twitter
serious
as well.
guy,
I'll post
and when
right
he
before
realizes that if
about an
he
hour
went
before I
along with
update
them,
a new
there'd
video
really
onto
nobody there to
YouTube,
help
so
protect
check out
her
there.
should Vegeta come back and try
The link
and
will be in
take
the
over
description
again.
below.
Yes, I may have mentioned something to the contrary, that Tenshinhan did go with the gang in another What If, but in this case, I feel that it's justified that Tenshinhan stays behind, not only to protect Earth, but also have a good dialogue between him and Roshi, just a chance for them to actually talk to each other. Gohan, Krillin, Bulma, and Yamcha head off to Namek in the old spaceship that has now been fitted with the latest tech from Capsule Corp. This time around, we're going to skip fake Namek. No reason really, I just felt like it. During this time, Yamcha and Bulma would reflect on their past and start to bond again properly. I believe that this would become important later, just you wait. As that's all going on, Vegeta is on Frieza Planet 79, tending to his wounds in the medical machine. Afterwards, he's bragging to some of his associates
I love that.
"Oh,
Frieza
that
naming
Raditz,
other planets all and just numbers after him.
Me, the stupid idiot. But then
I
he
love
kinda
how they do
glosses
that in
over
the British.
fact that Raditz almost killed Nappa. Yeah, he's just gonna not mention that bit. Like in the anime, Vegeta dashes off to Namek when he finds out from Qui that Frieza is after the Namekian Dragon Balls, because remember, Scouters pick up everything. Once Goku receives a sensu beam from Yajirobe, he goes to Piccolo and asks him to join him going to Namek. Piccolo has had some time to think whilst he's been meditating, and he then reluctantly decides to go with Goku. They both head to Capsule Corp and receive the new ship that Dr. Briefs had been building in that time. Without hesitation, Goku and Piccolo head off to Namek. During this time in space, this would be the first time that Goku and Piccolo actually get to train together. You know, instead of just fighting
that's
each other
true.
to the death. True, they fought together during the Raditz spat, as well as the Dead Zone movie, but this would be a little different.
Yeah.
Those two times were out of desperations. This time, they're actually training properly. At this point in the story, we can actually take a look at the power level pamphlet that came with the Tree of Might release.
I see that.
In that brochure, Goku's power level is listed as 10,000 and Piccolo's 8,000. Since their power levels are relatively close to each other, that means that they can go all out in their training, and Goku can actually get some meaningful practice with a sparring partner. Based on a previous calculation from another What If, Goku's power level increased 9 times during his trip to Namek. Thanks to Piccolo giving him some meaningful
So
practice,
90,000,
that
okay.
multiplier, I believe, could be increased to 10 times. When Piccolo and Goku arrive on Namek, their power levels are 80,000 and 100,000 respectively. But back to the others. Their adventures on Namek initially are relatively same to the original, with the only difference being that Yamcha elects to stay with Bulma and keep her company, so she's not for the most part alone and just ditched. He's also guarding her in case
Ditch her.
someone dare try and attack her. Okay, Yamcha, you do you and you just pretend to be brave. Or you actually might be serious. Either way, the events in the anime play out the same until the time the Ginyu Force arrive. Krillin has had his potential released, and he then offers Gohan and Yamcha the same thing. Yamcha's a little worried about leaving Bulma alone, but Bulma thinks that she'll be okay for a couple of hours. Besides, if Yamcha can get stronger in some ways, then he can get stronger in other ways. That encourages Yamcha, and he then blasts off towards Guru's place before anyone else can even figure out what's going on. We then jump to Piccolo and Goku arriving on Namek. The Ginyu Force have been beating down on the Z Fighters. Goku gives sensu beans to everyone and they're back to full health, thankfully. He and Piccolo then proceed to wail on the Ginyu Force some more, with Piccolo being far less merciful than Goku in this case, especially with Jace.
I can
Jace
see
is
that.
shot down by Piccolo as he tries to escape, and Vegeta finishes off Berta and Recoome like in the anime. Goku protests of both of them, and they both turn around to then shout at him, saying that this is not the time to be soft. Huh. They actually seem to both agree on something. Go figure. After sharing this mutual agreement,
Really?
they can sense that Captain Ginyu is on his way. Well, yeah, he would be, considering that 3 of his men have suddenly died within the last few seconds. Like in the show, Krillin and Gohan, along with Yamcha, decide to gather the Dragon Balls as the others take on Ginyu. But then Vegeta flees the scene like he did in the show. It's up to Piccolo and Goku to take out Ginyu. And they do for the most part. Or do they? Ginyu uses his change ability against Goku, and then I think this will lead towards a nice little callback to the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, in that it's a Goku versus Piccolo fight, albeit slightly different. But it doesn't last long though, because remember, Ginyu Goku can't tap into Goku's power entirely.
Exactly.
So remember 23,000? Yeah, that still happens. Piccolo beats Ginyu Goku down to the point where Ginyu decides that he could maybe jump into Piccolo's body. But then Goku Ginyu jumps in the way and takes the Change Now blast. So that means everyone's back in their original bodies. And of course, we have to. The frog bit with Ginyu happens as per normal. Now, for those of you who've been wondering where Raditz is, now is his time. It's just that his contribution during the Saiyan saga changed a lot of things that I had to cover. I just needed to go over those points before Raditz actually came on scene. Once Piccolo takes Goku back to Frieza's ships, that means he can recover in a medical machine, the gang summon Porunga, and they can now make their wishes. Their wish is to bring Raditz back to life and then transport him to Namek. Once Raditz shows up on Namek and gets his bearings and senses what's going on, he can do that now. He learnt that while he was training with Gohan and Piccolo. He can sense that Frieza is on this planet. What's been going on while he's been away? He's aghast at what's happening, and he kind of thinks, why am I here? What good can I do? But he then decides to go to the ship reluctantly. Now, he may not be as strong as the others right now, but he definitely got a Zenkai boost from being brought back to life. He could be of some use at least. Also, while he was dead, he was at King Kai's place, because I imagine that Goku put in a good word for King Yama, so he managed to get some training done. Whilst the others are summoning Porunga, Piccolo decides to fly over to Guru's place and talk with him and Nail. He's got a lot of questions to ask them about his heritage, but then suddenly he can sense that Nail is in trouble. Sure enough, Nail did fight with Frieza to actually buy the guys some time so they can make the wish. Nail and Piccolo later fuse, with the only difference being that Piccolo is a lot less disorientated and a lot more willing to actually fuse with Nail. The subsequent power boost that Piccolo gained from this fusion is actually a bit more substantial because of the training that he did with Goku in the gravity chamber. Raditz cautiously approaches the scene and can see that Frieza's standing off against everyone else. He realizes that there's not that much he can do at this point, but he then can sense his brother inside the ship. Maybe he can do something there. Whilst Frieza is toying with everyone else, Raditz enters the ship and spots Goku inside the machine. He's frustrated by this because he's missed talking with Goku again. But after some soul searching and a couple of pep talks, he decides that he maybe should go and help the others. And boy, trust me, they need help. Vegeta spots Raditz in the corner of his eye and laughs at him. Why look, it's the plucky coward. What hole did you climb out of to get here, eh? Raditz simply ignores Vegeta. We then cut to the point where Frieza has reached his final form. Despite Piccolo gaining a big power boost in comparison to the original series when he was training with Goku, his new power is still not strong enough to take on Final Form Frieza. When Vegeta comes up with a plan to give himself a self-inflicted Zenkai boost, Raditz decides to actually join in with the fun. They ask Yamcha and Krillin to do the deed, and reluctantly, they do it. Dende heals Piccolo and Raditz readily, and he then grudgingly heals Vegeta, because, you know, what he did to his people and all that. Now with Zenkai boost, the Saiyans are now back and stronger than before.
This guy's funny as hell. I love how he comes up with these theories.
For Frieza, when he's at 2% power. Frieza's jovial personality is elated at the fact that he gets 2 Saiyan monkeys to play with. Oh, what fun! This actually proves to be somewhat beneficial because Frieza is so distracted at fighting Raditz and Vegeta after actually having them as minions. This gives Goku enough time to fully recover and actually join the scene. Goku hails his brother and thanks him for helping keeping Frieza distracted until he got there. Raditz can sense that Goku's power is far greater than Vegeta's and eclipses his own. He deduces, using his more cautious demeanor, to just simply hang back and let Goku do his thing. Vegeta concedes that they need all the help they can get at this point, and he then tells Goku everything that Frieza did to the Saiyan race. Frieza tries to shut up Vegeta with a death beam, but Goku deflects it. Enraged by this, Goku takes on Frieza like he did in the anime. So there we go. Raditz may not have figured that much in this part of the story, but don't worry, I can assure you, there will be a third part. In this part, Raditz's impact on the series was monumental despite his physical impact being rather minimal. Thanks to Raditz, Piccolo was able to snuff out the Ginyu Force quite effectively, as well as keeping Ginyu Goku occupied, so that means the others can do what they needed to do. It also meant that Yamcha and Bulma could let their relationship blossom, and I believe that they'll have long-lasting impacts on the series later on.
Poor Trunks.
As for Vegeta, he gets to live. Thanks to Raditz's presence
Trunks is
in
one of
this
my
saga,
favorites.
both Saiyans
That would
can
mean
actually
Trunks wouldn't be
exploit their
born.
Zenkai boost and be quite effective against Frieza if they decided to just team up. Now, for those of you thinking that Frieza could have ended the fight by using 3 or 4% of his power, I don't believe he would have done that immediately. I think he would have found it rather quaint that these two in particular would decide to fight him. He had no idea that Goku was still around to clean things up. Remember, he can't sense energy. Oops, Frieza done goofed. So, with each part that passes, Raditz's usefulness for the Z-Fighters continues to get even greater. What else can he provide now that the Freezer fight has begun? Watch this space for the next part. So what do you guys think? Did you like this part? Do you think Raditz can contribute more in the future?
I agree.
Leave a comment below, and let's get this discussion going.
I believe he has the ability
I hope
to
you
become a
enjoyed this
Super
video.
Saiyan.
Until the next one, be sure to like and
Because
subscribe.
up
Catch
to
you
that
later.
point, the only two that had become Super Saiyan were Goku and then his father Bardock from the movie. So that lineage would show that they are the most likely to become Super Saiyan, I guess. And then Vegeta just had to struggle out his ass to become one. But if you all like this reaction, subscribe, comment below, and until next time, thank you.